Man. Hey, so listen, this is for when you hear the word baby mama terrace. This what this is. I want to talk about it. I ain't gonna say no names, but I'm going. If you know the name, it's on you. All right. But let me say this: all women and all baby mamas, single women, single mothers, are not the same. All right. Let me say this because you got healthy baby mama and baby fathers co-parenting situations that's very healthy because you have two, even if they was immature at one point or one stage inside of raising their child, but then you have two mature people that's able to get the job done when it comes to co-parenting, right? Then you have the bitter baby mama or the bitter baby father, and I want to make sure we understand that it doesn't matter. I'm not gender bashing because it's not just all moms and it's not just all dads. I done seen some messed up baby mamas. I done seen some messed up baby daddies, okay? But let's just look at it because now I'm seeing a cycle. And I want to just talk about my situation because, man, I'm really dealing with something right now, y'all. And I don't want to go live, so I'm doing my little video and say my little piece. But let me tell y'all something, man. So I'm gonna backtrack. I'm gonna give y'all a very fast version of our situation. Beginning, high school, we have a baby senior year, okay? Senior year, I take care of my baby. I'm there for my son. First year of his life, I'm there for everything. I pay for everything. I put us in a nice house. You know what I mean? It's me, right? I'm working, and I'm also getting, which we, the independent living check that we used to get from leaving out of foster care. Cool. Now, I'm immature at this time, so I make some mistakes. I go to prison, right? I leave my son and his mom. Don't say I left them, I was took from them, but that's the narrative. You left your child. Didn't leave my child, I was took from my child. Decisions that I made me leave my child, but nevertheless, it was never an intention of mine to say, oh, I don't want him, I'm leaving to go to jail, go to prison. No, it's not it. But that's the narrative. But let's pause right there. I go do my time, 6 years, go by, 5, 4.5, whatever like that. And when I get out, immediately I want to be involved in my child's life. No matter what relationship I was in, I'm going to see my son every week, catching buses from Orlando to Lake County. If anybody know that in Florida, Orlando, Florida to Eustis, Florida, and you don't got a car and you made that travel, what it took for me to go see my child. And I did that because I love him, right? Okay, now, at that time, he's being raised by his grandparents and not raised by my child's mom, but the grandparents have took claim and ownership of my son. So at that age, in that time of his life, I couldn't take him nowhere. Y'all understand what I'm saying? If I came to see him, I had to see them on their terms, right? Okay, cool. Fast forward, she takes my son and moves him to New York for a year or so. I have no control. We're not married. She has sole custody. Cool. Now, all these things my son he's dealing with. Fast forward, I'm married, and I get my child. I'm starting to get him every weekend, stuff like that. We're starting to spend more time together. He's starting to fall in love with the things that I was doing at that time. At that time, I was an ordained minister. He was around me a lot, all right? So that whole summer, my ways was rubbing off on him. He started to like to go to church, started to like to do the things that we was doing, really was making friends, and he was in love with my wife, okay? We went and took a photo shoot as a family with him and my other kids, which I married their mom and I have kids from her as well. Okay, so situation happened, we ended up having a photo shoot. I remember the first time we had a photo shoot, baby mama got mad, got upset, got insecure, took him away from me, didn't see him for about a few months. Why? The photo shoot. Okay, it's not her. It's not. That's not her child. Blah 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 blah. Whole lot of things were said, but that's what's happening when you're dealing with immature people. Okay, I'm trying to speed this story up because I know it's going to take a long time, but I want to tell you guys exactly what took place. Okay, so now, fast forward. Situation take place is this happened maybe like 5-6 years ago, where I'm pretty much helping my pastor out and my bishop, and I'm following after my bishop. My bishop has to go preach in Georgia, so boom, me being one of the ministers, I'm like, okay, I'm going with him. Okay, the plan was for my wife and my kids to drop my son off, but instead, the whole family, they wanted to come. So I let the mother know, hey, I'm not going to drop him off tonight. I'm going to drop him off in the morning because he really wants to go to this revival that we're headed to in Statesboro. In Savannah, Georgia. It's not that far, like 6 hours away, and we'll be back right after the service. Oh, she gets belligerent, cussing and screaming what she's going to do to me, what her husband's going to do to me, and the whole situation goes bad, okay? Now, let's fast forward. I come back from Georgia. That morning we wake up, a whole altercation breaks out. My son, he wakes us up, he's crying, and he's saying that his mom's downstairs and he has to go, okay? So now, while all this takes place, me and my wife, we get dressed, we get up, we go downstairs, and when we go downstairs, the father, which had already threatened me on the phone and said he was going to pow me, all types of things, and said he was going to slap my wife when he sees her. He intends to flinch, like you know how you, okay, me as a husband, no husband's going to let that happen. So immediately I hit him, we go to fighting, and if you know the story, you know the story, okay? Ultimately, I end up being stabbed by my son's mother, stabbed by my son's mother's husband, and physically assaulted at that time. Mind you, at this time, I don't hear from my son for 2 weeks. He never called Dad. He has a phone. He never called Dad, how you doing? Dad, are you okay? Nothing, right? 2 weeks later, he comes back to my home and he sees a BB gun, and he tells his mom it's a gun in my house. She calls the police trying to get him taken away from me for the time that I have, okay? I'm talking about immaturity, right? Now, fast forward, boom. All this situation we go back to every weekend, whatever. Then I end up moving to to Illinois. I moved to Illinois, started the ministry, came up here, whatever. Still paying child support this whole time. Now, a situation, I come down, I see him. It was times when I would come down from Illinois to Florida, and I would let him know, hey, man, I'll be here Friday. All week, me and him talking. Then when I get there on the Friday, it's no communication. No communication Saturday, no communication Sunday. Monday, I get back to Illinois on the plane, and look who calls me when I get off the plane. My son. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about the manipulation and the alienation. These are the things that she did over the years. Now, why am I bringing all this up? Because, she will say, well, I always brought him to you. And, of course, it was times when she brought him to me after she had kept him for so many years and so many months. All right? So now, boom. Couple years go by again. I end up she ends up letting him come And it's probably, now that I know, that time I didn't know why she was letting him come stay or come be with me for the summer in Illinois. But now I know it was because she couldn't control him and he was starting to be so rebellious towards her that I was the last resort. And over the years, it was times when she had problems with him where she would call me just because she wanted me to reprimand him or say something to him to make him stop doing what he was doing. So she let him come up here, and he loved it. He had a great time, got to meet his grandfather, and got to meet his family members from Illinois, and he had a great time. But at the last 2 weeks, she began to play games with him again, where she would play mind games. She would have him go downstairs in the basement, and then she would tell him a whole lot of mean and evil or talk bad about me. So when he comes upstairs, he would come up with an attitude. And ultimately, she was doing these things to manipulate him to want to come back to Florida so he would never want to be with me. Now, most people, let me stop right there because most people understand at this time and this age of his life, most women, mature women will understand the best thing for their son is for him to be with his father at this age because she cannot raise him to be a man, okay? She doesn't do that. So ultimately, we end up driving back to Florida with him and have to deliver him back to their custody, okay? Now, that was the last time I physically saw my son in the flesh. Every other time I saw him has been FaceTime, Messenger, stuff like that. Now, a couple months ago, I get a call. And the call is saying that Elijah was arrested and bonded out of jail for selling crack cocaine. Not selling, but having the possession of crack cocaine and marijuana in the school. I called to the school. I had no access. They couldn't tell me anything because his mother told them not to tell me anything because because pretty much he doesn't have a father, right? This is the narrative that she's going with. So I'm only a father when it needs child support, stimulus checks, income tax checks, money. But I'm not a father when it comes for me checking and warning or anything else as being a father. So I'm saying all this because I'm leading to it. So now this situation happens. I do what any father do. I call him every day. I start talking to him. I start trying to encourage him to stay out of trouble about, my life and how important it is for him not to do certain things. You know what I mean? Not to be involved with certain people. And then I start pushing the issue for him to try to, if he gets placed on probation, to please try to bring his probation to Illinois so I can help him get a trade and I can help him in any way that I can help him with the resources that I have here in Illinois. Mind you, my son tells me that he does not want to leave his friends and his family and he does not want to move to Illinois. And his mother, his grandmother, and everybody else pretty much support his decision as in he don't want to live with you, right? Joke's on me. Now, mind you, I talked about trying to get a lawyer and all these different things, and nobody really was wanting to pursue the lawyer route and stuff like that. Now, fast forward, we're waiting to see what the state wanted to offer him in time. While we're waiting, I'm doing a lot of preaching, a lot of teaching, a lot of talking to him, and a lot of encouraging, a lot of loving. He graduates high school, and on my behalf, because not only am I going to talk about the good, I'm going to talk about the bad. Financially, I didn't think it would be a smart move for me to spend money or spend my last dollars, to leave Illinois and to make his graduation, which it really hurted me. And some days I probably feel like that was a sucker move on my part. But financially, I didn't have it. Ultimately, you have to understand I do have more kids and that I have to take care of. So I have a total of 8 children. He's one of 8. So I couldn't do it. And so I didn't go and everything was good. We ended up helping him get a job, and I ended up spending more time with him, talking, and turns out he ended up getting probation. But this is when it really hurts. While that was some good news, his mom intends on continuing letting him ride and drive her car, around this city in Florida, Eustis. And now my son has been involved in a 2-shooting incident where he has apparently drove some guys to shoot at some other guys. Now he's in jail with no bond. Who's wrong? Who's at fault?